If you've got a HECS or HELP debt or some kind of student debt here in Australia, there's been some major changes over the last 12 months. I'm going to go through 3 of these that could save you thousands, including the 20% reduction, changes to indexation rates, and changes to how you actually repay this debt. Let's start with the big one. It's the 20% reduction, and of course this is the major impact because you're getting 20% wiped off of your HECS debt. So this is going to be backdated to what your balance was on the 1st of June 2025. So they will look at that balance and they will take 20% off of this. Now this doesn't matter if you studied last year or 10 years ago, it's the same for everyone. It's going to be a 20% reduction of your debt. So if we look at a couple examples here, for instance, if your debt was $20,000, you'll be getting $4,000 taken off that and dropping it down to $16,000. Or if you had a $100,000 debt, you're getting $20,000 wiped off of this and your remaining debt will be $80,000. So the higher the debt, the more of a winner you were with this implementation. Now this should be rolled out over the next couple months. You should receive a text message once it happens for you. Now you could check this via your MyGov account or you could contact your tax agent to ensure that it's actually happened for you. Now if you were one of those people who have paid off their HECS debt between that 1st of June date and now, for instance, you lodged your tax return this year and it wiped the remaining of your debt, you'll still get this 20% thing. It will then go as a credit on your ATO account, which should then be refunded to you. For instance, if this hasn't happened for you, then you can always contact the ATO and see why it hasn't been refunded you. It may just be sitting as a credit, they may not have your account details. The next major change was the changes to the indexation rules. And this all kicked off when everyone's HECS debts increased by 7%. Do you remember that? It caused a lot of controversy and it required the ATO to chat with the government and come up with a better strategy of this. So previously what was happening is your debt would increase by CPI each year. They've now changed this where it will increase by the lower amount of CPI or WPI, the wage price index. So what this means is if inflation is skyrocketing but wage growth isn't happening, you won't have to worry about your HECS debt increasing by the indexation rate because instead it would increase by the wage rate. So this is really good for people and I think it's a much fairer system to keep the debts better in line with what they were when they were first taken out. Now the ATO have already made some backdated changes, so they changed the inflation rate to be the WPI rate for 2023 and 2024, and this indexation has already been changed and adjusted on your account. Mine, for instance, got adjusted in December 2024, so if you check your account, you should see these changes to indexation line that reduced some of your debt there. Now, before I talk about the new repayment rates and how that all works, I'd love you to subscribe to this channel. We're on the journey towards 20,000 subscribers, and I can't get there without you guys hitting subscribe. I drop lots of great content on this channel, talking about a range of different tax topics, and I always want to learn more from you. What do you want me to cover? Drop a comment down below. But now let's talk about these changes to the repayment thresholds and to the repayment rates. And this is a major change that has only recently been updated. So previously, your repayment was based on your repayment income. Now your repayment income, as you'll see here, is your taxable income plus net investment losses, reportable fringe benefits, reportable superannuation contributions, and exempt foreign employment income. So once you knew that, there was a different repayment rate depending on where that fell, and then you would do the whole amount. So for instance, if you had an $80,000 repayment income, the rate there was 4%, so you would pay approximately $3,200. Now this is changing quite dramatically. So the new rules, as you'll see here, is income up to $67,000, there is no compulsory repayment. From $67,000 to $125,000, you'll pay 15 cents on every extra dollar above $67,000. From $125,000 to $179,000, you'll pay a base rate of $8,700 plus 17% for every extra dollar above $125,000. And then from $179,000 to $286,000 or more, you'll pay 10% of your total repayment income. So no one will be worse off under this method, and there'll be a lot of people that are better off. It also means if you're earning less than $67,000, you'll pay nothing towards your HECS debt. Now, some people will think this is great, others will have a different opinion. It does mean though, if you finish your study and you've got this debt and you're only earning less than $67,000, you're never going to be making any repayments towards it. So it is something to keep in mind. When I did talk about that $80,000 amount previously, I said that you would have $3,200 withheld under the old method that would go towards your HECS debt. Under the new method, that amount drops down to 15% of that excess over 67, so that's 15% of 13,000, which is 1,950. So quite a significant saving. Why a saving though? It does mean that you're repaying your debt at a slower rate, so it is something to keep in mind. And just remember, because these changes have only just happened, if you've had withholding happening throughout the year up to now, and then it has changed, when you go to lodge your return, it could be a little bit funny there because the changes have happened. Hopefully, it would just increase your refund at the end of the year. And just remember, the way that HECS withholding works is that your employer will withhold it throughout the year, but this is just extra tax, And it all gets factored in and worked out at the end of the year when you lodge your tax return, because that is the only time that your repayment income is actually known. If you've got a HECS debt, the chances are recently you've been a student, which means your brain should be fresh in learning mode. And if I could borrow just 5 more minutes of your time, I've got this upcoming video where I teach you how you could save thousands of dollars in tax, and it will be less than 5 minutes. I thank you for watching this one, and I look forward to seeing you over there.